Life with Louie. Oh, I remember that. I remember Life with Louie because I remember it came out right before X-Men. You know, from that 8 to 12 block, I believe it came out at 11 o'clock. Now, this show, even though it was a cartoon, it dealt with like some serious issues. I remember there was an episode when Louie's mom told him to write a thank you letter to his grandma for a sweater. And
oh, right, the young Louie Anderson. I was wondering what the hell this show was. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so...
Yes, I remember it now.
Okay, alright. And then I remember,
His grandma died before he could write the letter.
Yeah, so then the whole episode, he was like, where's grandma, where's grandma? And then the mom was like, she's in heaven. And he was like, where's the address to heaven? And then, you know... So
Reincarnation, he thought she might have been reincarnated as a bug, or one of the new babies. I remember in that particular episode, his mother dealt with it by like cooking constantly for like 3 or 4 days straight. There were other episodes like in the science fair, he took too long to pick a topic and he ended up getting stuck with bees, and his dad was trying to get the bees to manufacture honey so they could make profit off of it, but and he became like the king bee, and he even learned to communicate with them. So when Louie went to the school with a couple of bees he trapped in a jar, what he didn't realize is one of the bees he put in the jar was the queen bee. So the whole rest of the hive started freaking out because they didn't have the queen bee, and they started swarming the school trying to get back to their queen.
And I remember one episode when they were playing chess, chess, yes. And I remember they were saying, oh, it's for nerds, and then they just basically established that you can be good at chess, you don't have to be a nerd. I remember that episode too. But I think he was afraid to be good at it because he didn't want to be called a nerd, something like that.
Yeah, typical kid stuff. They did a lot of shows about it was comedic, but I guess as far as a portrayal of children, I guess it's actually fairly realistic by most cartoon standards. I mean, I know like a lot of people they talk about like cartoons today, like Steven Universe has supposedly the most realistic depiction of a little boy character that's ever been on a cartoon show. But I remember from my youth we had plenty of shows like that. It's just that
yeah, from your youth, because you're a little older.
Yeah, I'm how old are you?
26.
26? Okay, so it's almost
About
a
3
4-year
years.
age difference.
Right.
I'll be turning 30 next month, so...
I'll be 27 in November.
Alright, so it is closer to a 3-year age difference then.
But he's still a good kid.
Ha ha.
Okay, number 6. Casper. Casper the Friendly Ghost cartoon, remember?
Actually, I don't. I only remember the old Casper shorts.
Well, that's okay. Anyways, yeah, I remember they had a Casper cartoon. They had about a good 4 seasons. I remember it was around the time where like Beetleborgs was out, and
Was this the one that they based off of the live-action Casper movie?
Not like. Yeah. And then I remember in the show he had there was like the girl was there, Wendy, or I don't know Wendy, but there was the girl that lived with him, and then he had the three uncles, Stretch,
Fatso and Guts.
No, Stretch,
Wretch?
Fatso, and Stretch, and Stinky,
Yes,
Stinky,
'cause
yeah.
of the smell.
And I remember I was in the 5th grade, and like they had an episode when Casper needed to learn Spanish, which is not Casper. The girl needed to learn Spanish, and Stinky was singing about like garbage. He was like, "To me it smells good, huele bien."
I do remember one thing. There was like this ghost talent competition where they were going up on stage and singing, and like Casper had an accordion and was doing polka. And the funny thing is, in the 90's, polka was like the lamest thing that existed. Like if you wanted your character to look out of touch, you would make him do polka. Like on Family Matters, Steve, he was always doing polka, and like polka, and the vice principal on Doug, he didn't do polka. He did the yodeling thing. But I think it was
he
like
the vice principal or was he the principal?
No, it was the principal was Principal Butt Savage, who never had an appearance.
Yeah, that's right.
Like apparently he had an off-screen appearance, but I didn't even know that they had a principal in that school until the graduation from the 6th grade episode. Anyway, I digress. the three uncles then went up onto the stage and they performed the disco routine, and all the ghouls and ghosts that were watching the performance, who enjoyed Casper's polka performance, they said like, disco! And they just ran away. Like apparently disco is so dead that not even ghosts like it. And that's pretty much the only thing I remember from the Casper cartoon.
No, that was a good show. I remember it was, like I said, it had 4 seasons, and I remember I think they even played it a little longer. It was there for a while. I'm surprised you don't remember it. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so
I'll be right back again.
Okay, number 5, Bobby's World.
Oh my God! Yes.
That was the first show they showed in the Saturday morning lineup at 8 o'clock. I remember at 8 o'clock, you would see Bobby driving his little tricycle or whatever.
It was a big wheel.
Whatever, through the show. I remember he had like I remember it was a show by Howie Mandel, and where Howie played his dad. And in the show, I remember he had his whole family, which is kind of like my family. He had the mom and dad, he had the older sister, the older brother who was older than him but younger than the sister. He had the Uncle Ted, and he had an aunt. And I remember there was this one episode when it was Mother's Day, and they took the mom to some sort of Happy Mother's Day retreat. And I remember Bobby, he started saying all these things and like made his mom look bad. He was saying, oh well, you know, when my older sister's making out with her boyfriend, she peeks to make sure there's no tongue. And you know, just saying little things like that.
And she cleans my face with spit.
What?
She always cleaned his face with spit.
Oh yeah,
too.
That was gross. But also in the show, they also had some serious moments too. Like I remember there was one episode when the dad lost his job, and he was like, I got laid off. And Bobby was like, what does laid off mean? And he was like, it means I'll be home a lot more. And then I remember Bobby got excited. He was like,
one thing, Bobby was obsessed with building forts, and he figured if he wasn't, if like there were several episodes centered around Bobby wanting to build forts. Even his sister's Sweet 16 was his fort day. So the first thing he thought when he heard about the laid off thing is, all I have time for is building great forts with you because I've been laid off.
And then I remember in the show he was like so excited. He was like, yeah, I can spend more time with Dad. And then
you know, I guess the modern day equivalent to shows like Bobby's World would probably be Clarence, which is, you know, your typical show of a kid that has an active imagination is always getting into shenanigans. I think a lot of these cartoons were inspired by Calvin and Hobbes, because I always get a big Calvin and Hobbes vibe when I look at them. Like Doug, Rugrats, Bobby's World. You basically have a kid with a really active imagination that borders on willing delusions, and he's always getting into wacky shenanigans, which from an outside perspective would just look like a kid running around in circles. Like I remember, one way I remember from Bobby's World, let's see, there was an episode where he went to a kid's birthday party, and he walked through the mud and tracked mud in the carpet, so the mother, who was already stressed out, ended the party and made everyone leave. But like a baby had crawled away and gotten lost, and they thought that he was this big hero, because when they found the baby, Bobby's shoe was next to it, so they thought that he protected the baby or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember these really specific plot lines because that's the way my memory works, but even so, when this cartoon was on, I was like 7 or 8, so this is literally one of the first cartoons I remember watching. I think this cartoon was on before the Sonic Sat AM cartoon came on.
Yeah, this show aired like in 1990.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, we're delving back to my earliest TV watching memories. So this guy, I don't know where he gets it from.
I think I was like 2. I don't know. I remember. I still see shows like Bobby's World. They actually had a good message in it. Because I remember there was one episode when he had to spend a day with his aunt, and I remember he thought that his aunt was lame or something. And then there was an episode, and then that same episode, they were walking in the street, and someone tried to rob his aunt's purse. And I remember the aunt grabbed him and like choked him and knocked him down. And then he found out that his aunt was a professional wrestler.
Nice.
Remember that episode? Yeah.
I don't remember that one, but I do remember the one about the crossing guard, the musical crossing guard. He died in the episode, so at the end of the episode, the replacement crossing guard was having a hard time directing traffic, So Bobby remembered the song that the old guy had taught him, and using the song, he was able to guide the traffic properly. And when he sang a reprisal of the crossing guard man's song as a way to remember him, and they showed at right before the iris closed, they went up to the clouds, and an old man with angel wings looked down from the clouds and said, "Hey, they're singing my song."
I don't know.
That was a touching one.
Do you remember the toys that came out in McDonald's for the Bobby's World toys? It was like one was like him in the. It was like 10 toys, and one of them was him with the truck, him with the boat, and you can like remove them and play with them. Remember those toys?
I'm sure if I dug through my closet, I'd find some. I
Yeah.
collected so many McDonald's promo toys when I was a kid, and I totally remember the Bobby's World.
That was a
ones.
great thing about these shows. That like these popular shows at one point, they all had toys in McDonald's. So
That was back when McDonald's toys were good, by the way. Like, they had actual Transformers toys that could transform, and action figures that weren't posed like this.
Yeah,
they actually had
that.
like a useful stance so that they look good on display, and you could still pose them and they would look good in poses.
Funny thing, I remember my mom, before she became a teacher, she used to work in McDonald's. So I remember she used to bring me the toys. And I remember when she quit and became a teacher, I remember being upset. I was like, what? No more Happy Meals for me. But again, I was like 6 years old. What did I know? McDonald's and teacher. Whatever. So, number 4.